What is the street parking vault? What started as the Monday retest workout turned into the weekly vault workout. The vault is a 1 workout a week for 25 weeks series with new workouts each year.
Now the goal of the street parking vault is to help you guys build consistency by completing all 25 vault workouts within a 6-month period.
You can customize the movements in these workouts and choose any variation that fits your abilities.
Your scores and weights do not matter.
The goal is to maintain consistency from week to week.
Remember, you just
Can't
Miss.
Welcome to week 20 of the vault. I'm going to be doing program A today with the dumbbells and farmer carry step-ups, the inverted rows, alternating shoulder presses, and power cleans. And Caitlin is going to be doing program C with the sandbag. Make sure you stick around till the end for more tips, and as always, head on over to my.streetparking.com for movement demos and customization options.
And they are off. What workout is this, Nicole?
This workout is Skadi and Kvasir.
Kvasir. Nice. And these ladies are doing different program versions, as Carolina said before in the intro. She's doing program A. So part 1 is 5 rounds of 18 dumbbell farmer step-ups. Those are alternating, so technically it's 9 on each leg, followed up with 12 inverted rows. After those 5 rounds, they're gonna rest for 3 minutes and then move along to part 2, which is 5 rounds of, for dumbbells, 18 alternating shoulder presses and 18 power cleans. So basically two different workouts.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna do a workout, rest for 3 minutes, and go ahead and just do another workout.
Basically.
The score for this one, you're gonna score part 1, and then you're gonna score part 2 separately. Your goal for each part is 7 to 11 minutes. So based on math, this is gonna be one of the longer workouts. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Facts.
Facts. That's how time works.
Yeah, okay, so then program B. In program B, you're still looking at a dumbbell farmer step up and 12 inverted rows. And then for part 2, you're looking at a barbell shoulder press and a barbell power clean. Caitlin's doing part C, which is sandbag shoulder step ups and inverted rows. And then part 2 is a sandbag. Program C calls for seated shoulder press. She's gonna do it standing, and then a sandbag power clean.
Yeah, so this one, I don't know. I think our members start to assume like the simple ones aren't always easy, but I do think this one's gonna be deceiving. And in fact, to hit the goal for both of these, you really have to be moving. So whichever version you plan on doing, whatever weight you choose, make sure it's something that allows for you to basically move non-stop.
Yeah.
Get all 5 rounds done as quickly as you can, earn that 3 minutes of rest, and then do it all over again.
Do
but
it
just in a
all
slightly different
over
way.
again. Now, our shift version for today, also in 2 parts. Part 1 is a 7-minute AMRAP. That's as many rounds and reps as possible in 7 minutes of 8 alternating goblet step-ups and 8 inverted rows. After part 1, you're gonna rest for 2 minutes and then go into part 2, which is another 7-minute AMRAP of 8 dumbbell shoulder press and 8 dumbbell hang power cleans. For a shift, you're going to be scoring the total rounds and reps for each part. Your goal for part 1 is 6 to 8 rounds, and your goal for part 2 is 7 to 9
That's
rounds.
a solid workout. And I like that because the AMRAPs kind of can be like a safety net, you know, like when
Yeah.
you're working for a lot of amount of time, you know you're not Nothing's gonna get crazy. You're not gonna be in there for
I
30
love an
minutes.
AMRAP. You know when it's going to end.
Exactly. There is always a silver lining.
Yes.
So,
Buttons.
If you watch Carolina doing these step-ups, I feel like this is Julian's trademark move.
Yes.
I could be wrong.
No, I don't know that he trademarked it, but he
Right.
has learned it to the point
And
of maximum
perfected it.
efficiency.
Absolutely.
It is definitely his bread and butter. The swing and fling.
Yeah, swing and fling. So load the dumbbells back as you step down, swing them forward as you step up, and that just kind of, your momentum kind of carries you up. It's really helpful.
It's great for momentum. It's about getting that right pacing though.
Yeah.
Because if you can get into the rhythm where you step down, it goes back, you pull it back forward, you step up, then you're good to go. Now, if you start to get off in the swing, it's actually going to work against you, so practice it ahead of time.
You can see actually as Carolina comes to standing and she's starting to step off, she swings them back forward so that it's kind of like a pendulum. As she steps down, they swing back and then forward, but definitely you'll want to find a rhythm there. Now let's talk about the inverted rows. These ladies are using 2 different implements. And the inverted row is kind of like a broad category. Really, we're just looking for your body being somewhat parallel to the floor, to varying degrees depending on your abilities, right? Now, Carolina's going with a more dynamic implement. The rings kind of can move independently. There's a little bit more stability involved there.
Oh my.
And then Caitlin's going with a static bar. Both are fantastic options. What I love about an inverted row is that it's very easy to manipulate the difficulty of this movement by
100%.
just adjusting your body angle. And we've encouraged everyone to
Carolina.
find a body angle that's going to be challenging, but that you can still get those 12 reps done in hopefully no more than 3 sets. So you're looking at sets of 4 reps, but maybe you break at, like you try to do 6 and 6 or something early on and just kind of see where it takes you.
What do you think you're going to use for this workout, Alex?
That's a good question. I really have come to love, so like you said, A and B are both dumbbell step-ups. So there's nothing really changing there.
No.
I'm not going to do a barbell back rack step-up.
No, I mean, you can if you want to, but it's
not my
thank
thing.
you. Yeah.
But I do love, for the second part of this workout, I love an alternating shoulder press.
Oh,
so I do think I would go dumbbell. But we don't do a lot of shoulder presses with a barbell either.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great opportunity to include some shoulder press with a barbell.
I really like an alternating shoulder press as well because you don't often realize the differences between your 2 arms until you do something like that. Like a straight up, strict type press where you're not even using your legs. I'll tell you, old lefty over here is always like, what are you trying to do? Why are you calling me out like that? So I do like something like that, alternating, where it can remind my left arm to keep up. Pull your own weight, lefty. I'm sick of you just slacking.
Pick up the slack.
All right, so Alex, who is Skadi and Kvasir?
Kvasir. Skadi.
We just so you know, for everyone at home, Alex and I are having a heated debate on how to pronounce Skadi.
I'm about to throw hands.
It almost came to blows before we started this, but that's okay. Everything's fine. We are allowed to have disagreements. Although if you hear a rustling over here, it's Alex putting me in a headlock for saying Skadi.
Rear naked choke. Okay, so these are 2 of the beings responsible for capturing Loki and his sons.
Okay.
Fenrir and the Midgard serpent.
Ooh.
One being the wisest of the Aesir.
Kvasir.
And the other, the goddess of hunting and the wild.
Skadi. See, now, at home, you might not even notice there's any difference, but Alex notices and is mad about it.
So, they're 2 of some of the gods and goddesses responsible for capturing Loki, a pretty notable story in Norse mythology. And actually, I'll admit, guys, you can blame me for this one.
Oh my goodness!
I know,
Really, this is you?
know, this is me.
So if anyone should be throwing blows, it should be me.
Yeah.
This is all your fault.
Yeah. So the idea was, okay, we hardly ever name a vault workout after two people, right?
Yeah.
So far in this vault, we've done Brock and Atri,
Uh-huh.
and now Skadi and Kvasir.
Yes.
So my idea was to basically have not so much a mirrored image of two different workouts, because
Okay.
they are different.
Okay.
But, and this is where like my programming brain comes in, we have in the first part a lower body press with the step up, and then
Okay.
an upper body pull with the inverted row. And then in part 2, we have an upper body press with a lower body pull.
Oh.
So I really like that.
Interesting.
I know.
Look at your mind go.
Yeah, and then the reps are really insignificant, honestly. It's just what happened.
Oh, you mean in terms of like going
there's
along
no-
the thing? I was
yes.
like, this sounds 18's a significant
There's no
number,
relevance,
Alex.
I should
Gotcha.
say. Yeah, I should say there's no relevance to the characters.
Okay. I feel that.
Very good. So Carolina just wrapped up under 8 minutes, and Caitlin's wrapping up just over 9 for that first part.
That's perfect. They were both very
under 9. Yes, I'm sorry. In the 8 minutes,
very
under
closely
9.
paired to each other here in times of when they're taking a moment, and it looks like we're going to be in a 3-minute rest for both of them. Let's have a chitty chat with Carolina. Hi, Carolina.
Hey.
So tell us about this workout so far. How are you feeling?
That grip was so tough. Like my hands are still not well.
And your brain and words are also maybe having a moment.
I did use that Julian swing. So if you're going with the dumbbells, that swing, it really, honestly, I have a little like issue in my knee today. So I was relying on that to take some of the like load out of standing up onto that knee. And it helped me like keep a good consistent pace. But the grip was no joke. I'd be curious to see like how the sandbag version of that one feels. Because going into those ring rows was just like killer on the forearms and stuff. And now I'm dreading having to pick those up for these other two movements.
How do you feel about this alternating shoulder press?
Not super confident.
I have confidence in you.
Thank you. Like I said before we started, I'm definitely gonna get strong doing that movement. I feel like it's so good for strength, for shoulder and core strength, so I'm down to do it. Might not be fast.
Do you think the name of this workout is Kvasir and Skadi or Skadi?
Oh, the second one.
Okay, I guess you agree with Alex then. Let's see how Caitlin's doing. Caitlin, how's this workout going so far?
It's going. I probably should have planned better on yesterday's workout.
Yikes, that happens.
Yeah. I would like evening filming instead, please.
I'll put in a note.
No, it's all right. I didn't really hang on to the bag too tight, so my arms are pretty good.
How are you feeling going into these shoulder press?
I mean, it's a lot.
You heard it here first. It's a lot.
And if you were to pick a pronunciation.
The second one.
God dang it! All right, you heard it here first. Everyone is wrong except for me.
So who's really angry about this? Come on.
No. Okay, so I guess if you're right, you're right. I need to go see an ear doctor. All right, and Carolina is off for the second part of this workout. Remember, Program A, Part 2 is 5 rounds of 18 alternating shoulder press and 18 dumbbell power clean. Caitlin is about to start as well. Her Part 2 is going to be 12 sandbag shoulder press and 18 sandbag power clean.
Nice, Caitlin.
Now, the sandbag shoulder press, you could do these standing or seated.
Yeah, it's written as seated, mostly because the sandbag, in relation to the other suggested weights for programs A and B, is relatively light for most people.
Yeah.
So actually incorporating that seated element makes it a little bit more difficult. There's a lot more core engagement
100%.
involved. but a really excellent customization. And what we see Caitlin doing today is simply just taking it to standing, just like it would for A or B. So if you guys have a heavier bag or you're really looking to do those 12 reps unbroken.
Also, sometimes flexibility can be an issue when it comes to a seated sandbag shoulder press. So if you find that you can't do it while long sitting, meaning your legs are out and not bent, you can try it with a bent knee. That might help you a little bit.
Or a bench.
Or seated on a box or a bench or something like that. And if that's not working for you, just go to standing.
Yeah.
Fitness freedom!
Heck yeah. So we're watching Carolina start her second round of presses. What I love about how she's doing these is she's waiting for that first dumbbell to come all the way back down to her shoulder before she starts pressing the opposite arm.
I sometimes find myself doing the old back and forth, like one's
like
halfway
milking
down.
a cow, kind of.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
But yeah, so for these guys, any press, I personally, just for like prudency, is prudency a word? Like to be prudent.
Look, we argue about words, pronunciations, and the validity of said words. So let's not go there.
To be prudent, whenever a shoulder press shows up in a workout, I like to break them up
early and often.
Often, it just kind of depends. 12 reps with the sandbag or a barbell, it's not a huge amount, especially at the suggested weight that we are asking for today.
So would you break them like once?
Yes, I would break once. And what I love is for Carolina going straight from the press into the, getting just a few reps of power cleans. Nothing crazy, but since you're having to control the dumbbells back to the floor anyway, you might as well knock out a couple reps, start working your way towards those 18.
Might as well.
Might as well, right?
Yes.
So definitely not looking for you guys to do those cleans unbroken, but probably no more than 1 or 2 breaks to knock out those 18 reps.
Okay.
And what's really great, and you can see here what Caitlin's doing with the sandbag, because it doesn't bounce around, and you're really not wasting any time having to chase the weight or anything like that with a sandbag. You can just drop from the top.
That's my favorite thing about a sandbag.
Yeah, and as long as she's doing, you let it drop and you're immediately chasing it down, reaching to grab onto it and knock out the next rep.
100%.
These ladies are crushing it. I'm really impressed.
Do you have a preferred version of this one?
Still A, because of the dumbbells, Now, I will say, while I prefer dumbbells for the press, I do not prefer them for the clean. I would choose a barbell or a sandbag for the power clean over a dumbbell.
Because I feel like I would go maybe A on the second half.
Yeah.
But maybe sandbag on the first half.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. Why not?
I kind of like
Mix and match.
I like a shoulder step up.
Yeah.
With the sandbag.
More so than what?
More so than swinging the dumbbells.
Oh, okay.
I find that my grip gets irritated.
Well, yeah. And you heard it from Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Carolina and Caitlin experienced 2 very different part ones.
Yeah.
For that reason.
So do you think you would stick to program A for part 1 and part 2? Yeah.
I would. Yeah. No, for no real particular reason, except I actually do, just like a farmer step up.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Something about the farmer step up, I'm just not.
Good job, ladies.
Not a huge fan.
Yeah. Well, and I do think with a sandbag, anytime I'm doing a step up with a load at my chest or even on my back, my low back tends to light up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I kind of would prefer my grip to start lighting up over my low back.
I
That's
feel
just
you.
a safety thing for me.
Well, see, opposite for me, when it comes to a farmer step up, my low back will start to light up. But with the sandbag, because it's on one side, something about the way I'm stepping, it's less straightforward and I lean a bit. And it tends to help me for my specific low back issue.
Yeah. Well, and if you guys have options, if you have different pieces of equipment, the warm-up is a great time to test those things out for yourself, see what your preferences are, and like you said, you can mix and match. There's no reason to do the same piece of equipment the whole way through.
I'm always about
Fitness
that
freedom.
mixing and matching for sure. It looks like I don't know if you guys could hear Caitlin. She said it's like it's never ending. It looks like this workout is starting to be taxing. I mean, they are 18 minutes into this workout, and
really
it has been. They did have a brief break in the middle, but that was just long enough to catch their breath and basically start their second workout for the day.
Basically. Now they're both over the halfway mark. They're both finished with 3 rounds, working on their 4th. And Carolina actually is in her final round.
Right on,
Caitlin's
right
getting
on.
started with her 4th. Carolina's in her final round. One thing that is cool about this, after the first round, going into the remaining rounds,
Yeah.
you can use your final power clean rep to get you set up and ready for the presses. That is if you're doing programs A or B. If you are doing C with the seated press, that's obviously not an option. But if you're doing it standing like Caitlin is, then it definitely is. So if you're planning that out, it might be wise to get to your 17th clean.
Prudent even.
Yeah. Yes. You might be like that wise guy, Kvasir.
Kvasir.
And,
Hey, Kvasir.
And use your 18th power clean to get you set up and ready to start the next round of presses.
That wise guy.
wise guy.
That wise guy.
Let's see. Yeah, so for this one, this part, guys, your press is for sure going to be the limiting factor as far as keeping pace goes, right? Like you could, in theory, do go heavy on the presses and have to break them up every 2 or 3 reps.
Okay.
But that's not going to get the stimulus we're looking for.
Okay, because that's not the theory I'm working under.
Exactly. We're going for a lightweight press. We're going for big
Carolina.
rep sets. At least 6 reps at a time, even under fatigue.
Yep.
And we want you to use the same weight for the press and cleans, ideally. Obviously, fitness freedom, do what you got to do, but that's going to mean your clean's going to be relatively light, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Let it be. That's what we want.
Yeah.
18 reps, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
We want you to be able to kind of breeze through those cleans because your press was your limiting factor,
Heck yeah,
right?
heck yeah. Carolina
job,
finished
Caitlin.
up under 20. Caitlin is still working here with the sandbag.
So Carolina started around just under the 12-minute mark, and you said she finished around where, 19?
19 something, yeah, early 19s.
So she was able to get that second part done closer to 8 minutes. So she did great. She was right in the middle of the goal for both parts. That's excellent.
And here
Nice,
Caitlin is
Caitlin.
getting into her final round.
Yes, good.
Again, we are in part 2 of the sandbag version, so she's doing these 12 shoulder press. And then she's going to get into 18 power cleans and be done.
I know her shoulders are burning.
Oh yeah, lit
That
up.
sandbag front rack is just keeping that weight out ahead of you a little
Yep.
bit. It really starts to burn at the front of the shoulders. She's
For
crushing
sure.
it. Almost done.
All right, here we go, working on those power cleans. Very tail end now.
So one thing I just want to quickly mention before we wrap up Skadi and Kvasir
Skadi, yeah.
is, and this is in reference to the first part, if you, for whatever reason, don't have the setup for an inverted row, you could for sure, we would prefer a strict pull-up over a kipping pull-up.
Okay.
But either of those are great. If you did go with the strict pull-up, 7 to 10 reps per round would be about the equivalent. And again, keeping in mind the goal, right? If you're finishing those in 30 seconds or less, you're golden.
Yeah.
If they're taking you longer, then definitely reduce the reps. Good job, Caitlin. Same thing goes for sandbag, guys. It's hard to switch out your weight, so if you need to, you can always reduce reps. If you find you're falling outside of that goal,
Yeah. Almost there. Last couple of reps now.
Nice.
There you go. 22 for Caitlin.
So she was around 10 minutes for that second part. So
Perfect.
she was able to finish in that goal time
Perfect all around.
Really great job for these ladies.
Excellent job today on Skadi and Kvasir. Let's go to Carolina for some tips on this workout.
That was so many reps. 18 power cleans is no joke. And then the 12, man, Caitlin, you really crushed it. That sandbag was rough. Yeah, I felt like I got at least a little bit of a break with that alternating press. And the power clean, I feel like it's, kind of a little awkward for me with the dumbbells. But if you can, try to rely on just that little bit of a jump to get the dumbbells up rather than curling them up. And if you can re-dip, a little power position as you receive them, it might save your back and just allow you to string those extra few reps in so that you don't have to break it up too much. I really tried to go unbroken from the press into the power clean because having to go pick up those power dumbbells again is rough. So hang on to them as much as you can. It's great. That was super fun. And now I'm really tired. Yeah.
Sweet.
Welcome to week 20 of the 2022 Vault. This week we will be taking on Skadi and Kvasir. Today's Program A workout is 2 parts. Part 1 is 5 rounds of 18 dumbbell farmer step up, 12 inverted rows. After part 1, rest for 3 minutes. Part 2 is 5 rounds of 18 alternating shoulder press, and 18 dumbbell power cleans. The score is 2 parts. It's the total time for each part, and the goal is 7 to 11 minutes. Attack this workout as if it were 2 separate workouts. So we don't want you to game one part just to improve your score in the other part. Choose a customization, height, and load of the step-ups that allows you to complete all 18 of those reps in 1 minute and 10 seconds at the very most. You should be able to complete those reps unbroken or at least in 2 sets at the very most. Now, for your inverted rows, we would love for you to challenge yourself into a variation or customization that forces you to break those reps up into 2, maybe even 3 sets. And then for the second part, you should be able to move through all of those reps unbroken when you are fresh. Now, you may need to break up the power cleans or be strategic with how you're separating those movements, but you need to be moving through all of those reps in about 1 minute and 10 to 1 minute and 45 seconds at the most. For all of the detailed demos and customization options, head on over to my.streetparking.com. Welcome to week 20 of the Vault. This week we are tackling Skadi and Kvasir. The shift workout is 2 parts. Part 1 is a 7-minute AMRAP. That's as many rounds and reps as possible of 8 alternating goblet step-ups and 8 inverted rows. After part 1, rest for 2 minutes. Part 2 is a 7-minute AMRAP of 8 dumbbell shoulder press and 8 dumbbell hang power cleans. The score for this workout is 2 parts. It's the total number of rounds plus any additional reps for each part of the workout. And the goal is 6 to 8 rounds for part 1 and 7 to 9 rounds for part 2. We would love to see you challenge yourself with a weighted step-up option for this workout, even if that means that you use a much lower height than what you would normally use on a step up. Now, for part 2, make sure that you're choosing a load that allows you to complete all of those reps unbroken when fresh. Obviously, you've completed part 1 already, so it might not go that way, but in your warm-up, you should be able to do those reps and movements without needing to stop. For all of the detailed demos and customization options, head on over to my.streetparking.com.